I think that it is probably time to get into detailed HX Stomp breakdownage. I have done a long series of videos on the HX Stomp on YouTube. You should definitely check them out. It's under the heading of our pedal playbook, where I go and do deep dives on pedals. And this time, we're going to be doing the very last bit of the HX Stomp that we need to do, and that is going over all of the envelope filter and wah sounds in the HX Stomp. So, without further ado, here is the HX Stomp in all of its glory. You can see the interface right here. Just a little review for you in case you need it. What you have up here, these little boxes up top, and these little empty boxes up top, these are like pedals. They're little docks that you can select an effect to be on, and there's 8 of them. I'm only using 2 right now. On the left here, this drop-down menu, these are all the types of effects you can choose from. Wah is the one that we've selected, so you can choose distortion, dynamics, EQ, modulation, delay, reverb, pitch and synth, filter, wah, amp stuff, all kinds of things. Now, every time you pick one, let's say we pick wah, then there's a second drop-down menu, and this gives you all of your different wah options, your wah-options, if you will. So these wah-options are mostly meant to recreate a pre-existing wah already in the world. They're pretty dope. They all sound kind of similar, but we'll go through all of them. And so we'll do that. We'll also check out the filter ones. There's the Mutant Filter, the Mystery Filter, the Auto Filter, and the Asheville pattern. But the you can go into another category, which is Legacy, and we will have a whole bunch more of filter choices to choose from. So there's a bunch to go over. Now, a little bit about using a wah pedal in the HX Stomp. This is how I primarily use wah in the real world, is on the HX Stomp. And you can see this here. This is the key thing. This slider is called position. Right here. This position slider is what your foot pedal will be doing. And what that means is that you have to get an expression pedal to make this work effectively. An expression pedal is just a foot pedal that rocks back and forth that is freely assignable to any parameters within the HX Stomp. So you plug it into the expression pedal jack, and when you move your foot back and forth, having assigned it to this position parameter, which is very easy to do with a right click, I'll show you how to do that, you will see it move back and forth. I'm going to just use my foot and look at that slider go. You see it? There you go. It's going back and forth and back and forth. Now you'll notice that it's lighting up and turning off, but that's because I have it set, and I'll show you how to do this as well, to turn the wah on automatically as you start moving your foot. So let's just show you how all of this can be put together. So the position, you see this little icon here next to position? The position parameter has this little wah, or really expression pedal 1 icon. So what you do is you plug your expression pedal in to the HX Stomp, you right click, and you can see expression pedal 1 is mapped. I chose to hit expression pedal 1, and I click on it, and it is mapped to that parameter. Now I could go into this parameter, and I could do it to that as well, and you'll see they will both move together when I move my foot, right? But that's not what we want, so I'm going to deselect it. All right, so now, whoops. Now, just the position is moving when I'm moving my foot. Now, then, so now how do I get it to turn on and off? Because one of the best benefits of doing this is that you never have to worry about hitting a button to turn your wah on, because it is done by how much of your expression pedal has moved forward. So you go to bypass controller action, right? And you can see here that I have the bypass, I've selected here, right? Here's the Weeper bypass expression pedal assignment, right? I have it assigned also here to position. That's that position parameter. I move it. The minimum position is at 0. The maximum position is at 100, meaning when my heel is down, I'm at 0% position, which means that your heel is all the way down in the wah. That's why it carries that way. And then max position is the toe all the way down. And so I've mapped my expression pedal to match the way a wah pedal would function. I could do it in reverse, where toe down is the heel down position of the wah, and vice versa, but I've done it conventionally. Now, I created another assignment called bypass. Bypass in the pedal world means on and off. And so what you can do is you take bypass and then you assign a position percentage. Because remember, we are mapped to the position parameter, so the movement of this parameter is going to define the bypass of the effect. And I've selected 5%, which means that once my expression pedal passes 5%, if my wah pedal's in an off state, it will turn on, or vice versa. So the default position is that the wah is in the off state. So by doing this, whenever I go past 5% with my expression, then the pedal turns on. There is a delay that you can set until the pedal does turn on and does turn off. I have it set for 300 milliseconds just to give myself a little time, just in case I didn't mean to do that. I can go, oops, I didn't mean to do that, and it hasn't turned on. The behavior is toggle, meaning that it will switch between on and off based on this 5%, and that's all you have to know. So by doing these two assignments, this is a little bit more advanced MIDI stuff, I've created a wah pedal that will turn on. You see how when I get past right here, it goes dark, and then right here it gets light again. This means off, this means on. So I'm doing that just with my foot that you can see moving back and forth. So it's pretty cool. Now that we've gotten those kind of technical things out of the way, let's actually listen to the way these wahs sound. All right, we'll go right down the list. And the cool thing is that my two assignments to turn this thing on and off are still in effect because I've only changed the wah engine, nothing else about the preset. So those will retain unless I choose to change them. So here is the UK wah, which, as you can see, when we turn it on, the UK wah only has three parameters: position, mix, and level. We'll have the mix at 100% so you can hear only the wah, not the saxophone by itself. And the position is just the sound of the wah, you know, how you control it, and then level is how loud it is. So it's interesting to note that this just sounds the way it sounds. You cannot edit this sound. So check it out. So this wah does not have a particularly wide sweep. It sounds kind of stuffy to me. And it's a good sounding wah. It really is. I like it. But let's keep going. So that's the UK wah. Now, we have the Teardrop, which has the same reality as the UK wah. You can't change anything about this. You can just move the position, have a different mix where some of the dry saxophone is in there as well, and then change the volume. So let's see how this sounds. To me, this one sounds even less fully saturated and kind of shallow as well. So that's not a favorite of mine. Now we have the facile. I don't know what this is supposed to be mimicking, but you can change the limitations of the wah. So the way that wah works is that it creates a point on a frequency spectrum that is all the focus of your tone. So it's essentially like a big EQ that keeps moving up and down. And so you can set the limits of the frequency spectrum on the low end, which would be your heel, and on the high end, which would be your toe. So I'm going to make this the widest sweep I can possibly make it, and we can hear every single frequency that the pedal can manage. So let's see what that sounds like. So that's a little extreme. So the way to kind of hear what the problems are with that, I mean, you could guess, right? The low frequency goes too low, the high frequency goes too high, but it gets very thin, and it's got this kind of pulse when you move up and down that indicates it's just moving through frequencies too quickly. So let's bring this down. I'm going to bring it down to 3.2K and up to a floor of 200 Hertz. And we'll see what that sounds like. Who knows? That's still a little too extreme for me. So I'm going to move the low frequency up a little bit. I'm going to move the upper frequency way far down to 1.7. Let's see how that sounds. All right, that's okay. I think I want a little bit more high frequency, a little more headroom, and bring the floor down a little bit. Let's see how that sounds. That's a good sounding wah. To me, the EQ profile of it sounds a little nasally, so I probably wouldn't end up using that. In my life, I use the Weeper, which is the next one. So here, check this out. Like, that's already tonally a lot more my style. I really like that. It seems as though it is built to be a copy of the Crybaby because it kind of has that flavor. So check it out. Another version of it. Very cool. All right, let's keep on moving. Chrome. That's probably a Vox wah that they're trying to recreate. Same thing. Frequency, you can change. You can go through it. So this just has a different EQ profile. Let's put it right about there and see how that sounds. To me, that has a little bit more of a woody tone to it. Not my favorite, but still very good. Chrome Custom, same kind of thing, different flavor. It's likely that these two will not really have a ton that's different between them. So let's move on. Throaty. This should be interesting. Let's kind of mess with the EQ so we can get a full spectrum of this. This has a little bit more of a buzzy sound. Let me move that down a little bit. A little bit more of a buzzy sound, which is kind of, I would say, more similar to a Qtron type of sound almost, which is not a wah pedal. It's an envelope filter. Yeah, still a little bit nasally for my taste. Veta-wah. I don't know what this is supposed to be mimicking, but same thing, right? Just frequency changes, and let's see what it sounds like. All right, that has kind of a slightly overdriven feel to it, so that's pretty interesting. You could use that for a little lo-fi vibe. Here we go. Colorful. Let's see what this sounds like. Might be a jam pedal knockoff. Very similar to the other one. Very, very similar. And then the last one is Conductor. Let's check that out. Cool. That's neat. I like that. So those are all of the wahs in this pedal. Very cool. So now it's time to move on to envelope filters. So just in case you don't remember, envelope filters are what some people incorrectly refer to as auto wahs. This is what my envelope filter sounds like. So that's what my envelope filter sounds like. It is modeled mostly after Michael Brecker on, that record. Heavy Metal Bebop. So now we're going to go over the filters in this one. So here you go. The Mutant Filter, which I am sure is meant to mimic a Mutron. So if you're not familiar with the way that envelope filters work, here's a crash course. Mode. These are the types of filters that will be passed through. So the envelope filter reacts to how strong your attack is and opens up the filter, like moving your foot on a wah, in direct proportionality to that intensity of your attack. And so here they do a lot of the work for you. The peak will decide where that kind of peak of the frequency will be, changing the tone. Low pass, band pass, high pass all have an effect on the tone. Band pass is a little bit more horn-esque. Gain is probably also a sensitivity knob sometimes in envelope filters and should be in this one. Range is just low and high. How wide is it opening? Drive is down and up. That is actually the direction of the filter, and I'll show you all of that. So let's see what this sounds like. We're going to start just on this, just the way they have it. All right, so what I'm hearing is that it's just not coming through enough. So I'm gonna change the gain and bring it up a little bit, see what that does. That's kind of changing the tone in a way I don't like, so we're gonna go back to this. Let's see what we can do at the peak. Let's move the peak to 9.6. So that is essentially what you'll find is the Q knob. So there's already a lot of sounds in this. So let's bring the Q down and hear what that sounds like. Cool, but now let's just max out the peak and see that. Cool. All right, now let's do that. Bring the gain up and see what that does. So you can hear that they all have a pretty immense effect on tone. Let's check the high range, but bring the peak down. I like that. That sounds nice. Nice. All right, let's turn the drive down. Let's bring this down, see what that does. Yeah, it's weird. Definitely weird. But let's go back and find that good sound again with the gain. I think it was about here, and then yeah. There it is. So here's the low pass filter. You can hear it tonally is different. High pass filter. Cool. So that has a lot of different sounds that are worth checking out. All right, next one, mystery filter. Okay, so this has different parameters. So we have sensitivity. That changes how sensitive the pedal is to your attack. Frequency changes the overall tone and harmonic focus of the filter. Resonance is that Q button. Then you have attack, how fast the filter opens. And then release, how fast or slow the filter closes. So I'm going to try and make a cool sound here. This is a reverse filter, so it's going opposite of the direction you normally find it, and so it's challenging to actually program. So yeah, it's a weird sound. All right, next one, auto filter. Whoa, this has a lot. Similar low pass, band pass, high pass. The filter gain, the filter Q, those are all, that's sensitivity. The Q is that how big is the vowel that you're making. This is also sensitivity, probably combination thereof. There's a bunch going on here. So let's try. This is another challenging one. It's got so many parameters that you can really kind of get lost in the sauce here. That's pretty cool. It's kind of got an old school analog feel to it. A lot going on in there. Might be a challenging one. Asheville pattern. Again, this one is... oh, this is different. This is using LFOs. See that? There's all sorts of stuff. So you're going to get different patterns. Holy crap. Okay. There's going to be patterns, different envelope types. This is going to be more of like an oscillator. This is like a crazy tremolo. Wow, cool. All right. Yeah, might be worth checking out, but probably not super crazy useful. Let's go to the Legacy. Check these out. Voice box. Oh, this is cool. All right, so now you can choose the vowel that you want. Check this out. Techno. So yeah, voice box. Cool. This one, Vitron, seems to be the same idea. This is more of an auto filter kind of thing. See, this is one of the problems with multi-effects pedals. This is a phenomenal pedal and worth every bit of the money that you spend on it, but there ends up just being a lot of stuff that doesn't translate as well to saxophone as it does for or trumpet or trombone as it does for guitar, and there's a lot of stuff that ends up not being useful, which is fine. That's the same with regular pedals, but this one you just have a ton of stuff that you're not going to use, and this just, to me, doesn't translate as well and it's limited in its use. But this one, probably, the Q filter, will probably be very useful. Again, you've got your frequency, which controls the tone. Q is the how big the vowel opens up. Type, you're familiar with, low pass, band pass, high pass. And gain is probably sensitivity. So the Q filter actually is a fixed position type of thing. So it would be like taking a wah pedal and holding it to a fixed position. So this is really more of an EQ right here. This isn't going to change your attack. This is going to change your overall sound. So here's your lo-fi sound. Right? And then you can mess around with it from there. But it's really an EQ. Seeker. This is an envelope filter that I actually use on this pedal. Check this out. So this is an oscillating auto wah. Auto wah meaning that it's going to cycle and not react to your actual attack. And so you can change the frequency in the Q, and then the steps is how many steps in this kind of sequencer are we talking about. And then the speed obviously is the speed of the oscillation. The frequency seems to actually be the pattern. So that seems to be more like the wave shape. So that's a really cool one, very useful. Obi-Wah, what's this? Let's see. Cool, another sequencer, really interesting. Check it out, worth testing. Could be useful. Let's try this one. This is based on the Mutron 100%. This sounds great. The oscillation can be connected to MIDI clock. Anytime you see speed, you can right-click, right, and assign it to foot switches and have tap or MIDI. Or, here are your MIDI CC assignments right here. Or you can do it on expression pedal, so you can sweep through with an expression pedal to different speeds. Any parameter you see in here on any pedal can be right-clicked on, and then you can assign control modules to it, whether it's foot switches, MIDI, or expression pedals. Tron up. Like it. Little less Q. Cool. So this got kind of a distortion-y sound. I like it. Let's try Tron down. So that's the opposite direction, right? Sweet. All right, what's Throbber? Oh, check this out. Yeah, that's really cool. I like it. Throbber's dope. Slow filter. Cool. It's pretty aggressive sounding, but very cool nonetheless. I like it. Spin cycle. So this is a basic auto wah. Very cool. So vol sense means that will use your attack to change how fast the oscillation goes. That's really cool. And the last but not least, Comet Trails. Well, that's a really cool one. So there you go. That is all of the filters and wahs in this HX Stomp. There's a lot there. There's some stuff that's usable, some stuff that's not. But in general, there is just a whole ton of stuff to learn about and go through. So there you go.